Sorry, we don't have a sound system here, but maybe we'll do that career seminar. This is like one of the first serious things we are doing, and I hope you guys would also help us with like making everything better with this branch and doing like better things that would help all of us and also contribute to IEEE. So today I'm not going to like talk much because first like Shahab is going to talk about the branch and IEEE itself. And then you have two speakers from two like more or less well-known companies, and there's also a kind of lottery for two persons to win 1 year IEEE membership. So first of all, please welcome Shahab for this time.
Hi. I start to talk about a little bit about what is IEEE, what is our mission, what we are supposed to do, and then I will pass the thing to Preet first, and then you're going to talk. Now, IEEE stands for Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, established 53 years ago exactly from today. It is an association of mainly starting by electrical engineering, and right now we have people from not only electrical electronic engineering, computer science, software engineering, biomedical engineering, and bioinformatics comes together and make these associations. Now, this is a very world-class, well-known association, which if you are a member of that one, you can probably present it in your CV. Now, the aim of having something like that is that people will become very much up to date of what is going on around the world and what is the state of art in different fields of interest that you have. Now, this started in US, and US by its own has about half of the whole population of members in this society. And then it started to become very popular globally, and now every place around the world has its own region and sections. We belong to a region called Region A, which includes Europe, Africa, and Middle East. And each country that you know more or less has a section. So we have an Estonian section which has many chapters, and chapters are kind of like societies which are very specialized, like on signal processing, on security system, on several other things which you can visit the websites and get more information about that. Now, because the whole aim, you know, we are, I mean, I'm not very old, but I mean, we are like kind of old generation, and we have to leave the whole world to the younger generation like you and your next generation. So this is the whole aim of the science and the work, right? So what IEEE also aiming is that they pay lots of attention on the young generation. So they started to have IEEE student branch, which is being controlled and done everything by students. Now, for the first time, University of Tartu, which is a very old university, surprisingly, we have this IEEE student branch, which established officially end of October, beginning of November, and we have our first event in our university. Now, IEEE is known by so many of your professors because they know about how important it is and they try to become the member of this society. Now maybe it's not very known for most of the students, and our aim and vision and mission is that we spread this news that look, we have IEEE, be a member of that one. There are lots of hidden benefits behind that. I will talk about them very shortly and quickly. So we have now this in our university. We had it before in Tallinn University of Technology, but you know we are proud of our university, right? So like all university, we are cool, so we need to have all the cool things. And one of the other cool things that we have here is now this IEEE student branch. So let's go over to see what are the benefits of becoming a member of such society, which you need to pay 25 euros for a year, right? 25 euros is something like 2 or 3 meals in McDonald's, so it's not really too much. The benefits that you will get is, as I mentioned, this is one of those societies that you can be a member and you can put it in your CV, and when you go to Harvard or MIT or to a very, very big companies, you can present it. People know about it. It's not like that, the local university theater club. It's not like that. It's something very global and people knows that one, right? And if you are a member of this society for a longer period of time, you can promote your membership from a student membership to senior membership to a fellow and lifetime member. So there are very prestigious titles that will be given to you. All the works in IEEE is kind of a voluntary work. In other words, being a chair, vice chair, and those things, they will not pay you to become like that. It is something like an honorary thing to be. You can attend the worldwide competitions through this IEEE. You might be very known about a couple of these competitions that some of our friends were attending, and they were sometimes getting very good results. Now, they make this type of competition, which usually very big industrial and technological giants like Apple or Microsoft are sitting behind them, and they give some challenge, and you have limited time. All people around the world do this competition at the same time for sometimes 24, sometimes 48 hours to do some development regarding to do software. They have lots of kind of challenges which you can always go and look for that type of challenges. If you are a graduate student, you understand that in the world of academy, one of the things that you need to do is that attending the conferences. And conferences usually are very expensive if you want to register and you are aiming a very high class conference. They are talking about maybe 700, 800 euros for registration. But if you are a member of IEEE, you can get huge discounts, like 200 euro discount. So it's very good. And you can get some free job advertisement if you are a member of IEEE. And some of these job advertisements, they mention that if you are a member of IEEE, you have high priority. It's like that two people almost of the same quality, they will prefer the one who is a member of IEEE because it shows, you know, it's a voluntary thing to pay. No one is forcing you to become a member of that. But if you are a member, it means that you care about this society. You care not only about this society, you care about the knowledge, what is the state of art in the field. So it shows how you are caring rather than yet another job that I want to do, right? So now we have this IEEE student branch in our university. And when we make a student branch, there are 4 positions which needs to be filled. The chair, which officially will be reported to IEEE of our region, which is Region A. A chair will have a vice chair, a treasurer, and a secretary. So there is a team of 4 which is making it, and there is a senior member, or usually a PhD holder, who is the consultant of them, or counselor we call it. So I am the counselor at the moment. It's a position that we change it every 2 years. And right now, because we started it from the beginning, it's kind of, we knew who are the members, I contacted them, and then we made the team. But the team usually should come up, and people who are IEEE members should vote for them. So, you know, democracy, so it comes with the democracy, and we choose them. So for the first year, it was semi-democracy, and we had Morteza, who was talking here as the chair. And then we have the vice chair, Peshman. Where's Peshman? Who is sitting at the back. We have the treasurer, Anastia. And then we have our secretary, Iris, who is sitting here. Now, IEEE, as I said, is not only electrical engineer or computer scientist. It's very, very big. There are lots of people who come under this umbrella of IEEE. Now, these members, 2 of them are PhD students of science and technology. from computer science and from Department of Mathematics. So it means that many people with a physics background, with biomedical engineering background can easily benefit from being a member of this society. The office for this branch is in Institute of Technology, this black and white nice building, which is in Norusa 1. It's like 10 minutes with the bus from here. And we have our own website, our own email, which you can become a member of even our mailing list. And we have our Facebook, which you are welcome to go and visit and see our events. Now, for the next year, as I said, this chair, vice chair, those things should be selected by voting. So we decided, although usually this is a 2 years position, so every 2 years we have to renew it, because for the first year we were kind of quickly we have to arrange everything. So we talked with a few the people like Montezo who have been experienced before within this branch were selected as the chair. Now, if we want to do the election on 15th of September. If you think that you have a very motivated team and you want to become the chair and vice chair of this branch, please let me know by the 1st of September that who is your team. So what happens is that we will introduce the teams and we will make the voting. So people will vote on 15th and we declare the result of the voting, because we have to report it to IEEE Region Ed that who has been selected through the voting. So keep this one in your mind. If you can have a cool team which you think that you have very high visions and you can improve and you can have nice events under the umbrella of IEEE, please let me know. So the date is 1st of September and the election will happen on 15th of September. You will all get, if you are an IEEE member, an email regarding to the voting. Now, upcoming events for IEEE, there is an IEEE gathering in Estonian section. It happens in middle of the summer in August. Well, middle of summer in the world, but it's like beginning of autumn in Estonia. It's 17th to 21st of August. For getting more information, please visit IEEE.ee about how you can register and attend this event. And thank you for listening.
For the talk. I mean, he's a counselor, and the next talk will be by Mr. Preet Solomon from the Moon Cascade Company.
So my name is Preet. I'm one of the co-founders. I don't have any slides. I'm one of the co-founders of Moonscape. Have you got any pictures? Do one with mine as well. In the marketing department. Take that. I'm one of the co-founders of Moonscape. We are a software engineering company. Today we call ourselves a product and software engineering company, and we do software engineering basically. And I started with the company roughly 6 years ago, and I had 3 more co-founders. They were all engineers like me, meaning that we were actually programming. And first year was really hard. We nearly went down in a way that we nearly closed down the company, but then we had a lucky break. And today we have been growing during the last 5 years, roughly 100% a year or some percent. And today we, when we started we were 4 people, today we have nearly 70 people in Tallinn and Tartu offices. And the first year's revenue was 25,000 euros, which is not much. And last year we did 2.2 million. So it's in the sense of the world, it's still a very small company, a really small one. But but on the other hand, in Estonia, people start to notice us slowly. But from the background, why I'm asked here today is that I should only speak 15 minutes, so only 10 left, or less, because the last speech was over. And I have to leave in 20 minutes. I know, actually later. Was that I studied in the same building, even when the building was actually on Vanamisi Street. I studied computer science, math and computer science later, and then I did my master's in Aachen Technical University, which is a very good technical university. Everybody should go there after your bachelor at least. And then when I came back, I didn't do my PhD there. I came back to industry. I did. After the graduation in Germany, I tried to work at Skype for 2 months. I failed miserably. This was my first failure in life. And then I joined Playtech as one of the first hires into mobile team. So we basically built up Playtech's mobile product from zero to a certain point when I think today it's already started. And then after that I joined a startup called Daily Perfect, which was a startup founded by Aki Hinda, one of the Skype core architects and founders in Estonia. There I worked nearly 2 years, and then the startup failed, and we were all let go. Meaning that deep in the recession, in the end of 2009, I became jobless. And then we started Moonbus, because the team was so great. We started the company. And when we started to build the company, our motto has always been that since we are software engineers ourselves, we wanted to do a company because we didn't want to have any stupid bosses. And we don't understand the work actually we're doing. And the second thing was that when we build the company, we'd like to build something which where we would like to work ourselves, and are still working today. This basically means that we have interesting work, meaning the projects are interesting. We try to do cool things. That we would have good people working at the company, meaning that everybody who joins our company has at least 2 hurdles they have to come over. First is interview, meaning that we don't hire dicks or people who are somehow whose personality is not nice. We hire nice people because it's good to work with nice people, isn't it? And the second thing is we always have a test assignment. So everybody who's hired into our company has a test assignment. It's like a homework. It takes you 20 to 40 hours, and then you submit it. It's basically a programming task, and at least 2 senior software engineers assess the work. They give you feedback so you can at least learn from the assignment. And the thing is, we don't hire anybody who is below 7 out of 10. So everybody who works at Moonbus is a fucking awesome engineer. By the way, Anton is one of them. Everybody. He even does a bachelor thesis project with Shahab, which I nudged him into the direction because I thought that computer vision is cool and we might need it someday, not in our company. So he does detecting cars and moving objects on a video stream. Anyway, so that's about that. But I should actually speak to you how to become an entrepreneur, or what happened that I'm here where I am. So early in my life, I did 7 years after school ballroom dancing. This is where you dance. From 5 to 7 years, 5 to 12 years old, I did dancing. That gave me my good, obviously, stance, very good to stand still and erect. This also gave me the ability to talk to women. This is always very important. So go do dancing. You will suddenly realize that women are actually not that scary. That brings you forward in life. There are some other things which do that as well, but it's funny. Okay, it's anyway funny. Anyway, the point, I think, where my entrepreneurial mind came from that was that my father never gave me any pocket money. He always said that if I need any money, I'm going to fucking earn it yourself. My mother did though, and my grandmother as well. But the money was scarce because my mother is a teacher, and they earn what, maybe 500 or 600 euros a month, maybe even less. And my father is a blacksmith, actually. So I started to work with my father when I was 9 years old, and by 12 years old I was able to forge a knife to kill pigs, because my grandfather was a pig slaughterer and slaughterer in the village. So when I was 12, I even forged a blade of knife for my grandfather. And this was actually the way I earned all the summers I worked as a blacksmith until I was 20 years old. And I could buy myself a very nice mountain bike and all the high fidelity stereo system and everything, and actually could even afford partying, because spending money is also an important skill you have to know, how to feel yourself like, today I'm going to spend money, go to a restaurant, drink wine and be happy about the fact that not only I know how to earn money, but I know also how to spend money. And by 20 years old, what happened was that there I was on the third year in computer science and software engineering, and there I earned my first money with programming. And then I stopped immediately with blacksmithing. Or not immediately, but very soon, because handicraft earns you much less salary than programming. Everybody who's an engineer and who knows how to build stuff, I mean, bridges, houses, software, robots, electronics, you will never, you will never start. Because people need other people to build stuff, and you are the other people. Meaning that if you know how to build stuff, you usually know how to solve problems. And being this kind of, logical thinking of engineer, algorithmic thinking of a software engineer, gets you from point A to point B. And usually it is like, shit, I'm earning too few money, and you get to the point B where you earn enough to be comfortable, for example. So I think my entrepreneurial why it was from this kind of early childhood, where I started to actually earn during summers and weekends some money for myself to be able to afford some things which my peers had given by them, to them, was something which had to do it. I also had to sell my own stuff, so I went with my father and was selling the stuff I was producing. This was like small jewelry and some kind of iron roses and shit people buy, I don't know why. And this gave me the ability to sell stuff. So even if you go to work in a bar, you should do it, because you can teach your stuff. Talking to people and selling their shit is also a very important skill. And then later, I think because of that, the first money how I earned was that we had this class at the school, at the university. It was called object-oriented programming. Today I think it's called actually separate to another part, which is called software project, where you have to build a project with some team. So we were 3 students, we built a project, and we basically implemented a fixed algorithm to solve a shortest path problem in a graph of public transportation systems. So we went to the city government. I asked them, can we get some kind of data how the buses move, so we put some Excel sheets on paper, I think even. So we basically made a system which could calculate if I wanted to go from Anneli to some other place to Fee, it would say that you should take this bus and you should change the bus in the center and then go there, and the earliest possible time. So we made that working, and then somebody just said that actually Tartu City would need something like that, because there was nothing like that. We went to Tartu City, did a demo, and they bought it. At the same meeting, this happened with Andrus Ansip, because he was the mayor at that point of time. He asked us, okay, how much do you want for that? It was at 26,000 crowns, it was 1,300 euros. And he said, you sell yourself cheap. And we did it. And later, of course, we started to maintain the system and upgrade it and do better and better. And these were basically the first 2 years I somehow earned some additional money as a student. Then later I joined to work at the university's IT department as to code there some kind of user information system with do some stuff. And then later when I even joined, when I went to Germany to study at Masters there, I joined also the research team, and somehow it's very cool. If you're a student in the research team, it's called HEBE, and you get like 400 euros a month extra to your scholarship, which is great. And then after that, so basically all jobs later. So I would say that the student time that earlier was more entrepreneurial. I was even PhD, when I was doing blacksmithing. And later I started to do my own stuff after I was sacked from David Berger, which was a cool company. We did our own web indexer, and we were basically doing semantic analysis and machine learning to detect what you would like on the internet based on information on you on the internet. Anyway, I would say that to go from a student, B, to a founder of a company or an entrepreneur, I would say that first study, obviously, get some knowledge from books and teachers and everybody who can teach you something. Then, before doing your own company, go and work for some companies. Because I think my experience in Playtech and Daily Perfect, and then even a short experience in Skype and also in university, etc., where I was hired as a hired help working for salary, this teaches me a lot. This basically gives you some kind of knowledge in some kind of domain where what you don't learn in the university. So you learn by doing. And I always say that first educate yourself, then go and get the experience in the field. Usually it's easiest to go and work in the field for a successful company, for example, see how all the work is set up and everything is set up, and then if you want to start with your own, I don't know, startup or some kind of entrepreneurial idea, then do that after you have got some experience. It would also be good if you wouldn't have any loans by that time, so don't take any, I don't know, mortgages or otherwise on the line before 30. Because this helped me, for example, to build Moonbiscuit. The first year we didn't earn money. I had like half a year of money in my bank account, which basically, like, I went through that, just disappeared slowly. But I could also cut my costs slowly. So I didn't have any mortgage, meaning that I could live with my grandmother, easy, no rent, very good. Just also utilities, exactly. And I was only buying stuff from Prisma, which had the yellow sticker on it, meaning cheap goods, drinking at home, etc., doing parties not at the clubs but somewhere else. So basically you can drastically cut your living costs. This helps you as an entrepreneur as well. But if you have a mortgage and the auto leasing and lease, you can't do it. You have to work at some kind of company and earn money. In this sense, logic of paying rent or a lease makes sense. If you're starting paying kids, you need to have anyway a steady job, then get a lease. Basically pay the bank, meaning that you own a little bit more bigger step of your house. It's good. So I'm doing that today, but before that, don't take any big commitments or some kind of this kind of promise to pay rent because you can stop paying rent in a month's time and move on to another city or study somewhere else or whatever. Easy. You have much higher degree of freedom. And yeah, I always recommend that do stuff with other people together. Don't do them alone, because alone your time and resources and power is limited. I did Moonbiscuit with 3 other guys. 4 guys can solve much bigger problems together. Bringing 2 guys can solve much bigger. You need somebody you can talk to sometimes to ping pong the ideas, finding solutions. Not a single person is almighty. You can't do it. Group is always stronger. So I always recommend. I've actually never done much business with my very good friends. I don't know even if I would recommend that, but get to know people and work in groups always works. And what else? Yeah, I think also if you're an engineer, for example, how Moonbiscuit has grown is that we started with 4 people. First we figured out that our revenue stream is so small, we don't know how to sell ourselves, nobody knows us. So how we got to start growing was that we saw that we need some kind of marketing stuff. If you go around and say that we're an awesome team, able to do amazing shit, everybody says that. Nobody believes you actually. What we did was that since we participated in Garage 48 hackathons ourselves as well, and we were usually able to bring an idea to a prototype not in 48 hours but less than 24, we had it live next day already. Then we thought that, fuck, we should actually offer that as a service. So we started with Sprint 48, and we packaged our development as a service that you can hire us. We put there an amazing price that 4 guys you have to pay like 5,000 euros to get us for 2 days. We would build this. We never actually expected that somebody would buy that service. In the end, we sold 3 slots. But this got attention, even news wrote about us. So basically people got to know us, they started to trust us and see that these guys mean business and they can do stuff, and we did. And this is how we started to pick up. Our first office is also in the grandmother's place. And we hired the first person and then we sublet from a company called Axiom, 1 room above the script club and so forth. And then, after we were building up, we got our own office. But basically, we always go with like very rational steps. With smaller money, with this kind of way. You hack your way around. So basically, where was I? I was telling you about the steps, how to become an entrepreneur. Study, get experience, then go and do your company, not before. And find good people to work with and do stuff together. Also this kind of attitude of like taking risk and going and doing and not sitting too long on your balls to think about things, but to think and go and do. And this kind of organic thing as well, that Wunderskate has grown very organic. This marketing stuff, for example, was ingenious and it worked really well, and it helped us to get over this edge where we started to get jobs in. And we have always in Wunderskate, in a way, in this way, solved all the problems. When we see that there is something not working, we try to find a solution. And we do not have any economics degrees under our belts. We have learned, basically Wunderskate has been my MBA. Today, I haven't actually coded myself anymore, by the way, 3 years already. So when the company grows, you get different problems. I said I was coding myself in the beginning, but at some point I saw that I need to do more project management. I can hire coders, but there are really good project managers that are really hard to find. So I saw that I can do that, I did that. At some point I saw that I cannot even do project management anymore because we have to sell our services. And selling means that we, how to keep our work interesting is that you have to have more work to do than you can actually do. Then you can choose clients. And if you can choose clients, you can say, this is boring, let's not do this. Let somebody else do it. And you can refer it and they can refer it to somebody else. And so on and so forth. So at some point we saw that we had to sell. At some point we had to hire our first project manager. There were 22 people. We saw us founders cannot project manager anymore. We hired the first project manager. When we were 30 people, we saw that we cannot hire anymore. We need a hiring manager, somebody who does it for us. But the first employee we hired was actually a programmer, then another one, and after the third programmer, the team of 7, we saw that, fuck, we need an assistant. It was somebody who how to say, takes care of, I don't know, accounting and office and all the boring stuff we don't want to take care of. Because I'm a software engineer, I cannot do that. But before that, I did that. I said, well, we did that. And so on and so forth. We hired the very first salesperson a little bit more than a year ago. She's doing amazing. We had another salesperson just lately, and we hired the very first marketing person in November. This is how we have grown. We have currently 2 system administrators, 2 assistants, HR manager. We're looking, by the way, for another HR manager. somebody who's a good recruiter, because this HR manager has a belly and goes into mother vacation, how we call it very soon. And yeah, we have grown very organically. At some point we see that we have to most likely hire a CEO. And then early retirement, or someone start up something else. Yeah, one thing I would actually recommend, what you should do is take part in this kind of organizations like IEEE. Why? Because, and also just show interest outside of your area of interest. For example, when I was a student, I had a very strong interest in poetry. I'm actually a published poet as well. You can do that because all engineering requires a lot of creativity, so does poetry. So I hanged out with Aapo Ilves and Kontra and these kind of guys. First, if you meet people and talk to people who are outside of your area, they educate you as well. They tell you what is, for example, these guys told me what is important in literature. You get some kind of different type of education or knowledge. And they're usually very interesting to talk to, because if you are if you're a curious person, and as an engineer you should be, learning and talking to people from different fields, either psychology or philosophy or semiotics. By the way, there are very good people like that around here, because there is a very good department on that at Tartu University. Or medicine, you get to know so much cool things just by drinking with them together or hanging out. This is very cool. And this broadens your perspective as well. And this kind of organization from IEEE is that at the university you don't learn how to manage people or how to manage a project. You can go and be a volunteer at either Garage 40 or IEEE or somebody somewhere and do some other stuff and make things happen. They actually know and learn how to work with other people together. And this kind of extracurricular activities always look good on the CV as well. Not only the fact that maybe some people are actually looking for these kind of people in this kind of organization, but also take initiative and take extracurricular tasks, do some other stuff as well besides your studies and work. And this keeps your life much richer and your eyes much more open. You can do some. I know that this guy sings, for example. I've heard him once. Very beautiful. Like dancing, as ladies before. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is something like that. And